Welcome to the Indie Author Spotlight, where we interview indie authors about upcoming releases as well as life as an author, presented to you by Books, Brews, and Dogs. You can visit booksbrewsanddogs.com, purchase a blind date with a book, and support animal rescue efforts. Books, Brews, and Dogs is where you can buy a book and save a dog or a cat. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Indie Author Spotlight, and I am here with Fallon Raynes. Very excited to be talking about what she has going on and see what's coming up next. So thank you very much for joining me today, Fallon. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm really excited because for the most part, everybody that's signed up to do these interviews so far has been either contemporary romance, fantasy romance, or paranormal romance. And don't get me wrong, I love romance stories. I'm good with romance, but it is nice to do something different. I did have a kids book. That one actually comes out tomorrow.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
so that was a lot of fun too to do the kids book. It was really well researched and everything. But back to you before I get too sidetracked talking about other books. Um, your books are horror, suspense, thriller. And so that was nice to get back to. That's the roots. That's where I started.
Nice.
Really getting into reading. I My favorite book as a kid was Bunnicula.
Oh, don't get,
Oh.
oh, I loved that book.
Oh, most people have never even heard of it. I
Really?
bring it up. Yes. Everyone's like, what is that? I'm like,
Oh,
how
I
do
love
you
that
not
book.
know about the vampire rabbit that sucks out
Yes.
juice out of the carrots? Oh my God.
Yes.
It's such a good book.
And now you mention that, and I'm gonna have to go back and get me a copy because
I I've been thinking, I'm like, how do I not have a copy of that book right now? So I'm with you on that one. So
Mhm.
it was nice to get back into a suspense thriller novel, which I haven't read in quite some time because I've been filling days with romance novels at the moment. Again, thoroughly enjoying them, but it's nice to shake it up every once in a while. So your debut novel is the one that I happened to pick out to read.
Okay.
That's Dangerous Ledges. So it's like a stalker ex-husband, and I think it was really interesting how he became
The
the
Demon.
yes, thank you. I'm like, what did she call it in the book? How he became the demon in the book because um and that's a demon is the metaphor for, becoming the evil side of himself because it is a contemporary book. It's not a fantasy book.
Yeah.
I just want to make that clear because we've done a lot of fantasy where there's actual demons in books.
Yeah.
Um, and you kind of see a little bit of, the man before he became the demon, and um it was a drug that he had taken and it altered his chemistry. So hopefully that's not giving too much away. Hopefully it's not too big of a spoiler.
I don't think
Um,
so. It's kind of starts out in the beginning fast. I mean, you kind of get to that point fast in the beginning, so I don't think you're spoiling
yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Okay. What was the inspiration for that? Like, how did you come up with that as being the catalyst to the change?
I think I've there is a drug on the market. It's no longer on the market anymore, but that was somebody I knew had taken it, and it kind of altered their personality. They were taking it to quit smoking. So instead of like trying hypnosis or anything else like that, this person had a hardcore problem with, I want to say hardcore problem. They just smoked and they were trying to quit smoking. And the other stuff that they had tried hadn't worked. So they were doing, a prescription that had come out. And they were having these altered feelings. And I know a couple people that have taken it, not just that person. Some people had, it was like it took their feelings and multiplied it by 10. So if they had a sadness or they had a depression or anything like that, it just kind of made them extremely depressed or extremely sad. And so I kind of had that information floating around in my head. And then um, also some exes that had cheated. And I'm going to bring that up because that's kind of in the beginning too. It's not giving anything away.
Yeah, that plays a big part in the book as well.
Yeah. So I kind of somehow when I started writing this, it just kind of melded together and created Ledge, who was on the extreme side of what I had learned about from different people that had used that drug. So it wasn't anything in particular that actually happened to anybody, but it was, it's kind of life
Mhm.
stories that get made into extremeness. Um, and I probably could have went a little bit deeper with that. I got a little crazier, but kept it kind of mild, um, for family members and that to read and that sort of thing. So I didn't get too
So
crazy.
have you gotten over that in your future books where
The
you're not
holding
as
back.
worried about pulling back for family?
I am, yeah. And my editor had said, don't worry about, your family. They'll take it as they take it. It's not like anything that's happened to me or anything. So it'll be all good. So yeah, I won't be as tepid or not tepid, tiptoeing. And I'll use that because, Liza's mantra. Um, and do a little bit more deeper dive into some craziness with some of my characters coming up.
So what got you into writing suspense and thriller? Because I follow you on Instagram as well, and
Thank
I
you.
do know that you um you're welcome. That you do oh, I lost my train of thought. Hi.
Blog?
Oh, well, you do like Happily Ever After, and you do promote some of your fellow authors that do
Yeah.
Ever After that you really like. You did that in the note that you do at your version of the author's note at the end of
Hmm.
the book, where
Yeah.
you kind of mention and um I cannot remember her name right now.
Well, there was J.A. Huss. Um, she's the one that I kind of meant or fashioned mine off of a little bit for the author's note. She calls it end of book SHIT. And I called mine after the story. Kind of basically runs down a little bit of where I got the idea for the story, anything that I have for the characters that kind of pop out, maybe ending some thoughts on the story itself, and then um, promoting some authors and that kind of thing in the back end because I can't write fast enough for everybody. So pointing them into the direction of some of the authors that I love is just something that I want to do too, because it's just supporting everybody. I mean, we
And
all
that,
can't write fast enough to feed these elephant readers. I mean,
yeah.
it's just
Uh, well, especially because most indie authors hold down a 9 to 5. They're
yeah,
not full-time writers. There's very few indie authors that have the luxury of being a full-time writer.
correct.
Um, and it is one thing I've noticed within the indie author community now that I've kind of delved into this world in this last year when I started the podcast, uh, is that it is incredibly supportive. Uh, Everyone is out there helping each other and moving forward and promoting each other. Because like you said, that you guys know and understand that we all have different tastes. Hey, you may not like my stuff, but you might like theirs if you're into this.
Exactly.
Or if you need a break from my horror and thriller novels and need that happily ever after before you get into another one, try this book, because and I know any reader who only reads one genre. I don't know any reader who only reads thrillers or only reads fantasy or only. I'm sure there might be some out there, but I don't know any of them. Everyone
I
I know jumps around the board all over the place.
yeah.
So it's good to have those recommendations because you probably also don't want to write everything.
We don't have the luxury of time on our side to be able to do that either. There are so many stories floating around in my head, and I know in some of the authors' heads too. It's like we just got to go with where the words are coming from to get them out. But yes, I would love to write and I'm actually dipping my toe into romance, some dark romance soon. So
Oh,
that's going
nice.
to be under a different pen name. So people won't get confused with the romance readers are very vicious when they pick up the wrong story. So
Oh,
we don't want
yeah.
to upset them, and making sure that our pen name aligns with the stories that they want to read too. So
Well,
that's
that's nice.
yeah.
That'll be fun to read. As I'm excited to look into some of your other books. So I know you have four of them on KU, which is how I read the majority of the books for the authors. One, because it's where most indie authors publish because it's easy. It's they make it easier to get published, even though the royalties are mostly useless.
Hmm.
Um, it does help you at least get it out there and have a start. So I also just don't have the funds to buy every single book.
We all wish we could.
Unfortunately. So, and I'm sure people understand. So it's one of the ways I'm able to support you guys a little bit is picking up your books, um, or through KU, and especially because I read them for these interviews, I usually listen to the book two or three times
Oh, nice.
from start to finish. So I'm hopefully that's helping those royalties a little bit. Uh
Yeah, we do get page reads. So in the Kindle Unlimited, yes, we appreciate it. As an avid reader before work and life, I would have totally been on board with doing that as well as a reader, because as
yeah.
authors, we're all readers. But trying to find time to put words on a page and read, I don't have the
It,
subscription, but I'm grateful for those that do, because I'm right up there with you guys. I mean, books are expensive, just
yeah.
and anymore. So, um, just the costs of everything just keep going up.
Oh,
So,
I
can
know. I have to it's the reason why, especially with the business model I have, in order to be able to donate to the rescues, even when I get used books from the libraries as they're cycling them out,
mm-hmm.
by the time I'm done putting everything together for the blind date with the book and factoring in the cost of donating to the rest to an animal rescue,
Yeah.
that used book from the library is $20
Oh, yeah.
because
Unfortunately.
even buying it from the library, those costs even have gone up, especially now. Many libraries have been defunded,
Mm-hmm.
and so they're suffering. So when they do those cycle outs, those prices had to go up to try to help support the library.
Yeah.
And it's just the way things are right now. It's just a little bit hard. uh,
Yeah.
so I under I understand that. I think everybody else understands that. um but at least with the page counts, even if they don't finish the book, you're still getting royalties off of that.
Yeah.
So um ADHD brain, back to original train of thought. uh
ADHD brain. Understand.
um, you have four books
I
open
have
in
one.
KU.
Yeah, I have one novel, which is The Dangerous Ledges, and then the other three are short stories. There's the Make Them Pay, which is not in KU. That was Temptress, the short story Temptress, which is about 8K words. That story was originally featured in Make Them Pay anthology. And then when we had our abilities back, I put that out as its own. So it has a paperback and a hardback because
Oh, nice.
it is a little longer. The Double Dutch is paranormal short story, which I really liked. Those characters will come back. I have a longer story to put with that, the original beginning. And then there is Dangerous Beginnings, which is the what do I say the story within Dangerous Ledges that wasn't mentioned. So it was the starting point of what happened to drive their Ledge and Liza's divorce. So
Okay.
it was the starting factor. Not the complete factor, but it was starting to show
Yeah, where
his demon side.
it
So
started. I didn't realize that, and I guess I should have because the Dangerous Beginnings and then Dangerous Ledges, it makes sense that it's paired together.
yeah,
Um, so that's probably something I'll have to go back and read because that was um the start of the book. It talks about
the
the
inciting incident.
yeah.
Yep.
It starts off with that where it's like her memory of what happened.
Yeah.
She's talking about that. So there's some points where um it kind of jumps timeline into that memory, and so you do have to kind of pay attention when you're reading because a lot of times I'm doing many multiple things while I have the Kindle, the KU
Yep.
reading it to me. And so I'll be, doing the dishes or, you know, changing grandma's bed sheets or, whatever it is.
Hmm.
And I'm like, wait, what just
Back
happened?
up.
Because
Back up.
I was like, I missed something.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of the back and forth and yeah, I don't know that I'd have time to read everyone's books if I didn't have the ability to have KU read it to me.
I did not know that was a thing. So
I
that's
didn't
new to me. And
either.
yeah.
I was taught that at the end of last year by another author, and she showed us how to do it. Trying to remember which author it was. She was one of the ones from New Zealand. Absolutely wonderful person. Oh, I'll probably remember it at 2 a.m. Uh,
Well, if you do, just email it to me and I'll figure
yeah.
it out.
But she walked us through the whole step on um
On the podcast?
on the podcast.
All right. I will go back
Well,
and find that one and watch it. I like
yeah,
you, I like listen to podcasts while I'm doing work. So if
it
I'm
was.
doing something mundane, I can do that.
I think it was one of the one or the first one in August that I did.
Okay.
The first one in August or September. Hold
I'll
on.
find it.
Yeah, it's between September and November or August and November. So it's like there's like I don't know, 8 to look through there.
That's okay. I was gonna go back and finish listening to the rest of them because I got started on them and then
Oh,
I
thank
got a
you.
spot where I needed my brain, so I had to stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's always nice to hear that the authors are actually listening to the podcasts too.
yeah.
Um, so it's fun. I've had a few authors reach out to me because they found the podcast, and so that was really
Oh,
exciting.
that's so cool.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's been, it's getting there slowly but surely. We're gaining that audience for it. So,
Wonderful.
um,
And I'll for sure share this when it goes live.
oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
And then, so back to your books. So, what, how do you take on the inspiration? Um, like, what is it? How does that work for you? Like, where, how does it start? How does it click? How do you find yourself with that new idea that you just have to turn into a story?
Well, I'm going to share that I use a lot of sticky notes because I have sticky notes in my vehicle. I have sticky notes at my desk. I used to drive back and forth to work. I now work remotely the last couple of years, which has been honestly a godsend with our Michigan weather. It's nice not to have to clean the snow off my vehicle in
Yeah.
this time of year. We have uh ins I could be listening to a song and it may not even be about that song, but it might be a word that comes out of that song or a
Mhm.
feeling that comes out of that song. Or I could be watching a commercial or a TV program and there's like something one of the actors or speakers say, and it's like, oh, and then my brain just goes off on this tangent. So I'm writing, and if I'm driving, I'll turn on my I have a recording app, so I'll just speak into the app about the story, and then I'll write it down on a sticky note, and then usually those sticky notes go into a folder for either horror, thriller, mystery, or if I'm not feeling a vibe yet, I'll just put it in a miscellaneous folder. But I have a lot of sticky notes with a lot of story ideas and to ADHD over back over to Temptress, I had a title named Temptress. And
Mhm.
when the anthology opportunity came up to submit a story for it, my mind immediately went back to that title. And I'm like, okay. And then I sat down and just started writing. And I don't know what it was. The characters just showed up and they started acting, and I started, you know, putting it down on paper. So it's strange for me because creativity comes from everywhere and it's not just stories. It could be poems or anything. I mean, pictures. I see the world in pictures. So I'll
Mhm.
stop and take pictures too. And sometimes a picture will, oh, this would be a really cool picture for this story. So I get inspiration from practically everywhere. And I don't know how that goes for everybody else, but when I sit down to actually try and write a story, it's usually the one that's the loudest. So like Liza were very loud in my head, and I just started. I would be working, and then all of a sudden a scene would come through. I'd
Mhm.
pull up my email and just start writing in my email and get it down and get it out of my head so I could finish and get back to work. So there were some pieces um, in that story that were melded back together because they were different timelines. So there's a scene in there, and I'm gonna give a little bit of a spoiler, where Ledge is chasing Liza, and
Mhm.
that came like before I even got to that point. So I had to write that down. So there's just, I don't know what causes it, but they show up and I start writing
You just run with it.
or run with it.
Um, so how do you tie in, like you just said, you had that one scene that came up and you knew that that was going to be a part of the book, even though you weren't at that point in the book to write the book yet. So how do you come back and find how to mend those together? Um, like what's that writing process like? Is there how do you tie those scenes that you get ahead of schedule into the book?
I think once I get further in, it's like it's like it's like there, and then I'm here, and I'll get for some of the stories, I had the ending in my head, somewhat. I didn't have all the words, everything, but I knew how the ending was going to go, and I almost had a very big spoiler. But I knew how the ending was going to go, and you'll know what I mean because you read the story. But
Yeah.
I had that piece, then I had the beginning piece, and a lot of times the middle is gray. And then there's sometimes, like in this instance, where I start writing and I've got the beginning going, and then all of a sudden the scene pops into my head. So at some point, I've got it written down, and then I can build to that point and fit it in.
Okay.
I don't know how to explain it to anybody that's trying to write. It's like, okay, well, I've got this, and this, and how do I put all these pieces together? And I'm a pantser, so I don't have, um, I don't have a plot.
Hmm.
There's the ending piece and the beginning piece, and I can try and plot, but the characters just they for somehow these all get worked back together into a storyline, and then um if something feels weird, then I might pull a piece out and I can save that because maybe that's not those characters. Maybe that belongs to other characters. So I'll have that piece for another story um,
Hmm.
further down the road when I get there. But I save the pieces, and then I can weave them back in where they go. Um, there's a lot of times I'll have the middle of the story and won't even know how the ending is going to be. Um, but it's just weird. I'm
Yeah.
not very,
Well,
I'm a weird person. So
yeah, one thing I've learned is everybody does it a little bit different, and I like to highlight that because if someone is watching that's been wanting to write a book but feels
Mhm.
like they don't know how to do it properly, you know, then
Mhm.
they can see how different everybody is. Some people outline, some people don't, some people just go for it.
Yeah,
Um, and so it's just, there isn't any wrong way to write the book or get it out there. And so that's why I ask those questions. And
yeah.
it is hard to explain your internal process. You're like, I don't know, I just do it. How,
It just
why?
comes out,
Uh,
right?
it's one
Um,
of those things. It's like when you do something for so long or that you're just inspired to do, you don't always understand the mechanics of it. You just do it.
yeah,
And then trying to stop and explain that can be really difficult. So I understand that's often one of the hardest questions I ask.
yeah. And it is for me because I know there are other people out there that have to outline before they can even start the story. And it's like,
Mhm.
that's great and all, and I will try and jot down a few things. But the minute going back to like high school years, the teacher or English teacher would ask us to outline our essays or outline the writing project that we had to do. And it's like I struggled with that, heavily struggled with that. And it's like the teacher says, well, you just sit down and you whatever. And I'm like, I understand what you want from me, but I can't give you that. So
Like
I'd
my
almost
brain
have to
doesn't work that way.
no, I'd almost have to write it out and then go back and do the outline for what I did because I can't plot to save my life. So it's just how I don't know.
Yeah.
Even, like supposed essays where you've got a specific topic that you have to do. It just nope, I don't know how the words are going to come out. This is going to be, and then I didn't want to get marked down because
Hmm.
I wrote something different than what the plot or the outline was. Because that's just where my brain works. I just couldn't do it. And then there's other authors that look at you like, how can you not? I'm like, oh.
Really, it's just the way that it works.
Yep.
Well, it definitely, and everybody has their own style, and I think playing to our strengths, whether it seems out of the norm or not, is the best thing we can do.
Yeah.
So, even because that's how our brain works, and our brain doesn't work like anybody else's brain. It
No.
might work similar, but there's still always going to be differences. And so doing what feels right and what feels natural and that I think gives you the most inspiration is the most important thing. And you'll develop over the years, you'll develop your own style. You might change things and adjust to what helps more, what didn't work. But the only way to find that out is to start.
And you can't, as I have heard from many authors before me, when I was thinking about writing a book, you cannot edit a blank page. So
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you're great at grammar. There are editors out there. It doesn't matter if you know how to spell the right words. There are synonyms out there online. You don't even have to have a synonym book anymore.
Yeah.
There's every tool out there to help you. You just need to put that thought, that story that's floating around in your head on the paper. Doesn't matter what it looks like. There are authors out there, and a lot of them, the traditional ones that I was listening to, the Happy Writer podcast, uh,
Mm.
just to show you different variations of authors and their processes. He interviewed quite a few, and this one lady, I think she had edited that book like 10 times before she even gave it or out to be, and I'm losing the word, um see if a publishing house would look at it.
Yeah.
And it did get accepted, but then it had another rewrite. So if you're going indie, definitely have an editor. And if it's your first time, you've never really written anything, have somebody do a full edit. So they look at the timeline, they look at your storyline, does everything line up? Do you have the characters, do they feel well or are they flat? That kind of thing. If they're 3D, that sort of feeling. So you want somebody that can do all of it at the beginning just to give you an idea of where to go to fill in what needs to be fixed. Um, doesn't matter who you are, an editor is going to help you no matter what author you have. I mean, the traditionally published authors are still being edited. You're not going to ever be completely perfect. So don't write the story thinking the first draft is going to be perfect, because it isn't. But you can't edit it and make it better until you get the first draft done.
Right.
So
And that's the most important thing. And that was one of the things I learned, and why I do the interviews kind of off the fly, because I too also have a hard time following outlines. Um, I try to write down all these points, and I'm going to talk about this and ask about this, and then I never use it.
mhm.
So I kind of just gave up and said, I'm just going to talk, and we're
Yep.
just going to have a conversation, and it seems to be working out quite well.
Yes.
Um, so I'm gaining followers, and for as little as I've been able to promote right now, because my life is just insane between work and caretaking and two dogs and um, having to fix things around the house and doctor's appointments, and
Life is just, yeah,
it's
it's just going to
life
keep
is
coming.
lifing. And I am bound and determined that I will find a way where I will get back to getting to do this on a more regular basis, and life can be a little bit of a back burner to the things that I'm enjoying
Yep,
in that life.
100% feel that. So the last few years have just been chaos in my life. So I haven't gotten to write much. So I completely feel, where you're coming from.
Yeah. So I'm like, I will not give this up.
Nope, don't give up on
Um,
your dream.
so we're continuing. I haven't missed a single podcast that's been scheduled since everything kind of upended. I've been making it happen. Um, and so, and now I finally got all my licenses, so I'm gonna get to start doing markets and selling the books in the markets to actually start funding, because I don't make any money off of the podcasts, at least not yet.
Mhm.
I don't have enough following and stuff. So where I get the money to donate to the rescues and help the rescues is by going out to the farmers markets and selling the blind date with a book,
Nice.
and the occasional online sales that I do. So I finally got all the licensing and insurance that I need in order to be able to do that in California. And I get to do my first market next month. So
Congratulations.
it's very exciting to kind of get back to what started all of this, and how I started meeting with the indie authors. was reaching out on social media to see if I could purchase some of their books to put on my table, and if we could work out a deal that was financially beneficial to you as an indie author, but also allowed me the space to be able to sell it at a price where I could afford to donate. Um,
Like,
so,
oh, yeah.
because it's, that's a delicate balance. And so some
Oh,
authors have been able to do it and some haven't.
yeah, let me
Because,
know.
it is crazy. So once I get some finances built back into the business, that's going to be something I start doing again, is reaching out to the indie authors that I've been working with and purchasing their books so I can put them on the table.
Nice. Yeah, just keep me in
So,
mind and let me know.
absolutely.
We
Suspense
love,
thriller is one of the highest sellers. Dark romance and suspense and thriller are the highest sellers on the table. They're the first things off the table
oh, wow.
every time I have them on the table. So now that was in Texas also. That was in Austin, Texas. So I don't know the California market yet, but I have a feeling that that's gonna be close to the same. Because that really, if you look at Bookstagram and um, the TikTok version of Bookstagram, Book Talk,
Book Talk, yep,
um,
which I am not on.
that is mostly what is talked about, is suspense and thrillers, or at least that's what my algorithm has become because of the authors I've been following because of my podcast. So,
That's about what I
um,
get to is I love a dark romance and I love the dirty dark romances. So
yeah.
I won't
Um,
name any of the people that I follow, but yeah, that's pretty much what I get to is the horror and the dark romance.
yeah.
So it's
It
what I
can
love.
definitely be fun. I mean, I understand why it's popular because there's some definite intrigue there.
Oh yes. And they get what I love is that it's like a community and everybody's just they're doing the dress ups, they're doing the fun videos and
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
And it's
no.
just it's fun. It takes you away from your own life problems and gives you a little bit of, smiles for a few minutes. So
Hmm.
definitely cool.
Okay, so what was your favorite book to write so far?
Um, Probably they're all my babies. So I don't want to say I have a favorite. Because each one that you write, you throw out into the world and you hope everybody loves it. And people aren't going to, but there's my favorite authors, my one-click authors that write one and it just doesn't resonate with me. It's going to happen. But I had a lot of fun writing uh Double Dutch.
Hmm.
I like the paranormal stuff. That was fun getting into the characters' heads and seeing where the story went because I really didn't know till I got going. Temptress was also fun. That was a fun Red in that story. She's a flirty gal. She has a little bit more coming. There's going to be more to that story later, but I got to get a few other things out of my head before I can get back into that one. But that one's going to be more of a mystery thriller. I don't know if it'll get dark, but that was a funner one to write. She was just flirty and it was a heist thriller, and she was one of the heist people. She was
Oh,
the
nice.
the show to keep your mind off of what's going on back here. So, um, and Dangerous Ledges was kind of a cathartic because of past relationships that I was cheated on. So it was kind of nice to just kind of
To
get,
write that out
yeah, to
and
get that out of there. Not to say that there won't be more stories like that because hey, it just happens. Um, and then Dangerous Beginnings was just kind of that was written actually after Dangerous Ledges, um, to put the inciting incident on paper so that people could kind of see it, what actually happened. Um,
mhm.
so that can be read before or after. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
fits in wherever.
you get a pretty good idea of the scene of the incident from reading Dangerous Ledges. Um, I do see the appeal of wanting more detail to it, and to getting more of that feeling so that you can get deeper into the book and how she feels during the different points, because there's a lot of
Struggle for her.
conflicting emotions that happen within her throughout the book that you get to explore. And so having, the lead up to that incident and what actually occurred, I think, would help you understand that a little bit better if you're having a hard time wrapping your head around it,
Mm-hmm.
why she would be conflicted at all. But there's I don't think that it's 100% necessary to understanding or getting a real feeling for the book either.
Yeah.
Especially if you go in knowing, and realizing that emotions are oftentimes conflicting. You can love somebody and be angry with them. You can love somebody and be afraid of them. You can, you know, emotions are not always linear or straightforward. They're messy and tangled and all over the place. Um,
The
and so
strongest
you really kind of
relationships.
get a sense of that in the book as well.
Yeah.
Because this is an ex-husband, so this was somebody that she clearly loved.
Yeah.
Um, and so it shows the messiness of that.
Yeah.
And so and it's always, I feel like characters in books that are messy are always better because we relate to them more, because our lives are not linear straightforward. They're messy.
Yeah.
Um and it's
Logic doesn't play a lot when emotions get involved, and logically, oh, why is she still with this guy? Or you need to just cut him loose, or you need to cut her loose, or we can say logically what
mhm,
should be going on, but your emotions play a lot of why you get hung up on either leaving this person, or staying at a job you don't want, or whatever. I mean, there's a lot. Emotions play a lot, so hopefully
oh yeah.
that did get there. I know it didn't for some, as I've seen some of the reviews, but it's
Yeah.
and
Well, and I
when
think that that plays to people's experiences too. So,
exactly, if you
someone
haven't,
who's been through any of those similar types of experiences is going to feel it a lot deeper than somebody who's never been there.
yeah, I've
Um,
had people triggered by this because the domestic violence is one of the, and it's not
mhm,
like this isn't a what do I want to say, a slasher movie. So, or a slasher book, or a slasher feel to the book. But there's that feeling of fear from domestic
mhm.
people who have been in domestic abuse relationships. Um, and that trigger is there because they're
There's a,
feeling that, and
yeah.
people who have never been in that
Well,
situation don't fully grasp the
yeah.
fear or the fight or flight
Mhm.
feeling.
There's a lot of actions that he takes that are precursors or considered precursors, to what happens in an actual violent home. So domestic violence doesn't start with just someone hitting you. It starts with that emotional
The
turmoil
mental
and
beat
are you
down
in a good
and
mood today? Are you not in a good mood today? And going through and remembering that feeling. My first serious relationship had ended up becoming that situation where
oh,
I had to worry about that.
your safety.
And the first time that he actually physically hit me, I left.
Good for you.
So, but was a long time. There was a lot of things that were going on, and um it was, you really see that because there were times where I was expecting you to turn around and write that he had finally, hit her, or he had, because the things that he does and the things that he says were precursors to that behavior escalating. And
Yeah.
so if you've been in those situations before, you can really delve in to the sensation of that a little bit. Um, it's almost like a safe way of exploring the emotions and the turmoil and the messy, conflicting emotions that you had.
Hmm.
Um, because it's on paper and it's happening outside, but it's similar to kind of what your brain went through. And so
Yeah.
it can help be processing if you're at a point where you can
Can
sit
accept it.
in that triggered state for
Yeah.
a minute, because there's a time where, as you're healing, where nope, can't handle, can't touch it, can't go anywhere near it.
No.
But as you heal, you start being able to come in and sit in that uncomfortableness for a little bit, and
Yeah.
and see that. And so a lot of this stuff can be cathartic in that way. There was an article I read while I was, we had a slow day at work, so I was just standing at the cashier at, at the cash register, not doing much. So I, do what everybody does these days, and I pulled out my phone,
Yeah.
um, and I started reading an article, and it was an article about how, um, kids that watch anime, and I'm I'm personally going to rephrase this to adults who watch anime because I know kids are not the only ones who do, as
Yeah.
I'm an adult who watches anime.
We're all kids at
Um,
heart.
right? But kids who grew up watching anime, Naruto, um, Avatar, you know, Dragon Ball Z, or, even newer ones, My Hero Academia, things like that. Um, they tend to have better resilience and get through hard times easier, or are able to push through them better with a better outcome on the other side of it. And the exploration in that is because, um, the um, psychologists who did the study said that in looking at the typical stereotypical fairy tales that are basically the Russian fairy tales we've brought over, or from that area. I don't think
Yeah.
all of them were Russian. Many of them were German, as well. But the sitting in the tower waiting for the prince to come save you,
Yeah.
um, just having power handed down to you, and then you go and you defeat the bad guy, and everything is linear. There's good and there's bad, and there's nothing in between. Where
Hmm.
in anime, there's, Avatar, Aang makes bad decisions and has to go and correct it and figure it out. And so in these anime stories, you're getting the characters, the main characters that are the good guys, that have these experiences where they make a bad decision, where they have feelings, and they explode a little bit, and they have to come back and reel it back in. And so it's teaches you, like, I can be good and still not have made the right decision, but that doesn't make me not good. Or
Yeah.
I can, and so having things like these experiences that mimic real life, where emotions are messy, and bad things can be
Choices.
happening,
Hmm.
but you're still finding that, you're that there's a memory there of how things were, and how that can get confusing is really important to help us get through to the other side, and to healing. And so I think that that is also probably a big reason why the suspense and thriller and the dark romance is so popular at the moment, because it helps us embrace that shadow aspect that we don't fully get to explore,
Mhm.
because society has said you're either good or you're bad, and there's no in between. And so we're kind of learning that that's not really true, and there's a big gray area.
Oh yeah.
And this um book, Dangerous Ledges, that you have, I think really helps explore that a little bit.
Yeah. And I mean, we all make our choices. They're good or bad. It doesn't make us bad people because of we made a wrong choice somewhere. I mean, you can go back and couch quarterback your whole life and see where you went wrong with something and think, I wish I could go back and fix that moment, or I really should have said something different to that person, but I was having a bad day, so the words didn't come out right, or anything like that. So yeah, pulling the emotions into everyday life, you're just it's either a bad moment and you make a bad choice because of that bad moment, or you're feeling down or whatever. it's
Mhm.
it's definitely an emotional world. I mean, we're not black and white. We are colorful. We have gray, we have light, we have dark. It's um not a set stance for
Mhm.
anybody, for sure. So that is a very that's a great analogy. I've never watched Avatar. I
Oh,
don't I don't get into that part of fantasy.
uh-huh.
But yeah, the whole fairy tales, I can totally see
Yeah.
that. um
Um, I think the article mentioned Naruto specifically, but I've never watched Naruto. But I've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I've watched, Dragon Ball Z. I've also watched a lot of darker ones, um, like Black Note, um, uh, or Death Note. Black Note. What is that?
a new
But
book title.
yeah, right. Um, but I mean, even in those in reading that article, because as an anime watcher, I really kind of understood that, and I never thought about that before. Uh, but I was reading that article yesterday while I was at work, and it made me think about your book and how it explored that. And so, um, and then it kind of naturally came up in here. Guess I've
That's
been
cool.
thinking about it a lot. But I love looking at the psychology of things, and how we, interpret things, how we take it in, how it affects us. Because we read books, and sometimes it's like when we get done with a book, we're feels like we just broke up with the characters, you know, because we're so devastated that we're like, how did
Full
this
on
end?
bad
Or how did
crying.
this, and it's like we have to take a break before we can start another book. And it's because when we get involved with the characters, it's because we relate to them, because we understand the plights that they're going through. We're able to relate. It's helped us break through something within our own in self that needed to come out,
Heal
needed to be seen. And
or
I think
heal.
that you know that's going to be different for everybody.
Hmm.
um but I don't think that if they did that, that we would get so attached to characters in our books, or get so attached to books, you know,
No,
that
I don't think we would.
completely devastate us and have us crying, halfway through it, because all these things are happening and why did you kill this character and what happened here?
What
But
did
then
they
we
do to
go
you?
back and we reread it and we listen to it and we hold on to it and
Yeah.
we share it with everybody even though it had us in tears, and it's because in some way going through that experience with the characters in that external safe aspect, I
Hmm.
think really helps us heal a little bit every time we find a book that kind of does that with us.
I think so too. And I love it when I get that from my readers, that have read it and kind of, stood tall for Liza, and like I knew she could whatever, or I hoped she would do whatever. And you just, feeling that and seeing that, it just makes me feel good to let me know that I touched them with that story. And I know there are the other people that maybe aren't like Liza's age,
Mm.
where she's early 40s. Led just early 40s. They had their kids early on. They had twins. And growing up and having twins, and we may not say these words, like I don't even remember what Liza said. Oh, hell to the no, I think it was. And it
Oh
was
yeah.
more of a more of a kid
That's
thing
a
to say.
throwback.
Yeah, it's more of a kid thing to say, but when you're around your teenage kids, you're picking up and you start
Yeah.
saying it yourself. I remember when my kids were going through and they're like, talk to the hand. And I'm like, no. But you just and then I think that's where some of the people got off and thinking it was, a YA, and it's like, no, it's not YA. It's just you pick up what your kids say.
Yeah,
So,
if you talk to anybody who's got teenagers, their lingo is a lot different.
mhm.
Um, and I don't have any kids and I don't have any teenagers, so oftentimes I'm, texting my niece, but and I'm like, what does this mean?
I have to look it up.
Like, what? How? What? I'm looking things up. I remember when my husband and I first got together, everything is when everything started becoming anagrams.
Mhm.
Every so you'd get these texts that are just letters, groups
Yep.
of letters, and I'm like, what the actual? And
Yep.
so I told him, I was like, if you're gonna talk to me, you are going to use full words and complete sentences because I am not going to Google every time I get a text message from somebody. And
Yep.
so all of my friends, every guy I ever dated, and my husband all learned if you talk to Rebecca, you use full words and complete sentences because
You
I
use your words.
absolutely refused.
Use your words.
I was
Let
like,
me know what this
there's
means.
still there's still some things I have to look up. So I get stickers for the books, and I sell a lot of dark romance books. And so there's a lot of anagram things happening there with all the letters, and I have to look up what they are
Hmm.
to make sure I don't put it on the wrong book. I know most of them now, but every once in a while I still get one where I'm like, what was that? I haven't seen that one yet. And but it took me a while because I was like, why is everything letters?
Yep. So I
Uh,
that was part of it. And I know I lost a few readers because they got to that part and they're like, nope. I'm like, it's just happens when you've got teenage kids. And like that was in my mind while I was writing that part while she was talking to Trinity, when Liza said that was a whole oh, I'm losing her daughter's name. Lexi's that was
yeah.
Lexi's saying. So Lexi doesn't talk in the book a lot. She's kind of quiet and
Yeah.
reserved because she lets her brother do it for her. She lets him take care of things. So there will be another story at some point where you will get to know Lexi. I've got a story brewing in the back of my mind for
Oh,
her, so you'll get to know
interesting.
her a little bit more. Yeah. Not
which
sure
leads
where
us,
she's gonna land, but
yeah,
which
that's a great segue into the next question.
okay,
So,
lay it on me.
what do you have coming up? Like, what is your new inspiration that you're really kind of working towards getting out there?
The next thing that I need to write is a global beast story, and it's kind of like, the I don't know if anybody this
Oh,
is
I
going
love
under.
that.
Yeah.
You're, I think, the third author that I've interviewed
Oh,
that
for
is
the
a
global
part of
beast.
that Global Beasts.
Nice.
So I'm so excited for all of those, and I'm trying to get a schedule done so I have enough time to do my personal reading on top of my author reads. Because, like I
Hmm.
said, I do the author reads. Like, I have to read your books 2 or 3 times to make sure I get enough information. I write things down so when I'm talking about it, I'm I can go back, because sometimes I read the book and we do the interview a week later, so I have to go through my notes.
Yeah. Keep it
and,
fresh. Yep.
and so I have to have so that I can remember and I don't accidentally talk about the book that I'm reading for the next interview.
I get that.
So so I do take notes on the books, and sometimes I have to kind of stop and go, oh, that's something I want to bring up or talk about. And
Yeah.
this one's getting antsy. Willie, Murphy, you're gonna yell at me? I don't know. My mic, I have a razor mic that I'm using, and I've noticed a lot of times when I think they're being loud and obnoxious, when I go back to edit and put the overlays in the computer in the video,
Uh-huh.
you can't even hear the dogs barking. You just hear me yelling at them.
If I'm on like a video call with work, I'm like, I am so sorry my dog is barking. And I was like, what dog?
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't
what
even
he's
hear it.
yeah,
We got a
he's a
nose. There's the husky and
nice.
the pit bull right there.
Yeah. Adorable.
Oh,
Fur
so
babies. Love fur babies.
yeah, they're the best. They're my inspiration for helping the animal rescues and how I got started on all of this. And it's kind
Wonderful.
of taking on its own, kind of like authors. The Many of the authors have told me about their characters. They have an idea of what they think their character is going to do, and their character says, "Nope, we're going to do this." And
Yeah.
that's kind of how the business has been going. Has A podcast was definitely not in the beginning thoughts or forecasts of business. Murphy, place. Good job. I know, I'm almost done. You gotta let me finish. Go see grandma. Go bug grandma. No, we're not playing in the house. That's outside activity. He likes to try to get Perrin to play with him, and then they get really rambunctious. And then I have things that have fallen off of shelves and drawers that have broken and dressers because they start throwing each other into the dressers. And I'm like,
Yep.
can we not do this in the house?
Yep. I completely get that.
They're usually pretty good about it, but when he gets really bored, he gets a little rambunctious. So,
Always how it starts.
yes. Oh, they're toddlers.
Oh, yes. And they never grow up.
Nope. Nope. Forever toddlers.
Yep.
So, um, we were on your projects and the Global
Yes.
Beasts.
Yes.
So I'm really excited about that. And then what else do you have coming besides your Global Beasts project?
The Global Beasts, to go back, it's not going to be under
Oh, okay,
Fallon.
sorry.
It'll be under Xandra Range, Xandra Rains. Like Alexandra, but it's Xandra.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we I have that story coming out in July. I don't have a title for you yet. That's why I have a working title that I like. We'll see if it stays. Like I had 3 different titles for Dangerous Sledges, and then finally Dangerous Sledges came in, and it's like, that's the one. Um, so once I have that written into the editor, I'll put out information on my uh, Facebook page for Xander Range, but I'll also make sure that's findable, if that's a word, on my fallonraynes.com website,
Mm-hmm.
because I want it. I'm letting people know that I'm writing in that genre, so that there'll be a link for that, and they can
Okay.
choose to click it or not. Then I need to get back on the applicant, which is was mostly done, but needed some edits, and then life happened. So hoping to get that done into my editor this year. And then I will know once she's gone through those edits a time frame for the release, because as an indie author, and I'm sure other indie authors are similar, once you finish a book, you want to get it out there to everybody because you're just
Mm-hmm.
excited to share it. But I'm gonna get the marketing and all that good stuff that I hate all lined up and put into a better avenue, so that it
Yeah.
gets done right this time. I just kind of, oh my
I
God, I
don't
got it done. I
think
got to get it
any
out
of
there.
us like the marketing, so you are not alone. It has never been someone going, and then I love marketing it.
Mm-mm.
I've never heard that.
Nope. I completely suck at it, which is why, a lot of people don't know me, because I can't do it to save my life. So
Yeah, I definitely I think I'm gonna try to take a marketing course at the community college because I want to be better at it because I want this business to work. Um, if
yeah,
not just for my sanity and the fact I don't want to be a cashier in a grocery store for the rest of my life, um, for what the business is meant to do for the animal rescues. So,
yeah. And you will
um,
get there. You will get there. I have
yes,
faith in you.
thank
It's
you.
all a work in progress, and I think things happen when they're supposed to happen. And these stepping stones that we get there, it just keeps us motivated to get where we need to be and get where we
Yeah.
want to be. And this
Right now,
authorship,
we're just telling the universe we're gonna do it. No
we
matter how
will.
hard it gets, we're pushing through.
Yep, yep. And this is my retirement gig. This is what I want to do when I grow up. So
Yeah.
when I get there, this is
Plenty of people do know who you are, more than I think you realize.
oh.
And it, your books are out there. So one of the things I do with every author is I Google. I Google the name. I just put it into Google and see what comes up. What pictures, what things are there. And there are times when authors, have been confused with other people or, yours is a more unique pen name, so it's not as easily confused. But I got, I think, 8 links right off the bat
Oh
to,
wow.
actually, I left them up. So let's see. So it starts off with pictures of your books and pictures of your logo that you have with the raven.
Oh nice.
And then you get Amazon, Goodreads, Instagram, Facebook, books to read, all author, YouTube, Barnes and Noble, Book and Mortar.
Oh nice. That makes me feel good.
So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Um, so it comes up, and every link that I clicked on took me straight to information about you. And so when people Google your name, they're getting you. They're not being mixed in with other people. They're able to see when they Google your pen name. It takes them directly to you and your social medias. So I think that there's more people than you realize that are finding you and getting to know you.
Well, I'm
Um,
grateful for that. Thank you for sharing that.
you're very welcome. It's hard. It's hard to look at that stuff for ourselves and to see that um because we always feel we could be doing better,
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure. And it's just human nature. It's, that's the way we think, and some people are better perceiving themselves than others. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still incognito right now, so with the day job. So we'll 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 both get there. We'll both have our stuff wider
We
known.
will. You can find Fallon Raynes on Instagram, Facebook. You can also go to uh, fallonraynes.com is
Yes.
your uh, web page. Um, all good places to keep up with what Fallon has going on, what's upcoming, and just general whatever else she puts on social media, books that she's reading, other authors that uh, are there. She's does like to promote her fellow authors, as most indie authors do. It's one of the most amazing things about the community is how much you guys help each other.
Yeah.
And so follow, like, comment, do all of the things. Um, to help spread the word, read the books. You can find her books on KU. If you want the physical copy, there are physical copies available through Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Any place, if you're, uh, it's my books, the physical books are not just Amazon and Barnes and Noble. You can get them in Ingram Spark,
Oh, nice.
pushes them everywhere. So if your store doesn't carry it, please ask, because that in your library, please ask. Um, they're available, so they can get them from anywhere. I know
From
there's a lot of
anywhere.
stores that don't
Just
carry
ask
them yet,
the
but
That's amazing because not a lot of the indie authors have been able to do that. That is a expense.
yeah, and it is. It is. We do our best to get a little bit of a royalty, but by the time the printing companies and Amazon
And
and I
everybody,
wanted, yeah, and with Amazon
yeah.
being um in KU, you can't have it available, the ebook available anywhere else, but you can have your physical book anywhere. So I always want to make sure people, I want the book in my hands. I want anybody else that wants, that can, that, can want a book can have it too. So I do signed copies if anybody asks, or I will send a book plate to anybody that has a physical copy too. So eventually I'll have something purchasable, but right now I'm still doing the day job and having to fight the time.
Yeah, we're getting, like we said earlier, we're getting there and we'll be there one day.
Yes, exactly.
Um, so, but definitely check out Fallon Raines on Instagram, Facebook. Check out her website. The books are available on KU. Uh, so it's always a good place to start if you want to check out before you purchase a physical copy of the book. Um, and just it's really exciting I always don't know how to end these. It's so weird. You'd think I'd have gotten used to it by now, but it's like, what do I say now? Um,
Each one is new, but definitely
but,
give us your website for your podcast so everybody
oh
can get to it
yes.
too.
So, and I need to embed the episodes, but you can find the podcast on YouTube. You can, if you want to watch the videos, or you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, just about everywhere where the podcasts are available. Um, and then um, for raising funds for the animal rescues, you can go to booksbrewsdogs.com. I also have a page. It's a little bit behind, but there is a page on there where that links directly to the YouTube channel. And I've embedded all of the indie author interviews. But to support the Indie Author Spotlight podcast as well as animal rescues. Purchasing a blind date with a book option is going to be the best way to help, aside from liking, subscribing, and commenting on the YouTube channel, or on whatever platform you listen to the podcast. So, like, listen, share, comment, subscribe, all of that stuff really helps to keep us motivated, keep us going, not just for my podcast, but also for all of the indie authors. Following on Instagram, going to their pages, commenting, sharing the things that you're enjoying that they're doing. That is what helps to keep us going and help keep the art out there, and the inspiration out there for ourselves and for others. So, like, comment, share, subscribe on all the platforms.
Everywhere. Or at least one place so you can keep in
Yeah, or at least one of them, whichever one you're on the most, right? So,
yeah.
thank you very much for joining me, Fallon. I really appreciate it. And I am very excited to see what you have coming down. I'm very excited about the global beasts. And I look forward to having an opportunity to speak with you again in the future. And who knows, maybe I'll get to start attending all these fun book events at some point, and I'll actually get to meet some of you in person.
Me too. Oh,
It's hard when you have a day job. They
Yeah.
almost always fall at times where it's like, I can't request the time off because
Yep.
it's during a busy season, or so.
Yep, I fully get that. And I appreciate you. Thank you very much for having me on and doing this interview with me. I'm very grateful. And anytime, we'll come back anytime, and I'll definitely share this once it comes out. And
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye, everybody.